Hi, this is Jamel Hamka with Recherche Calves in beautiful Statesville, North Carolina. I'm so excited to introduce a stunning, beautiful Cavalier boy. This is Mr. Blue of Sophie and Chewy's litter. He was born August 15th, 2017. He just got a bath, and so he's a little bit shaky right now because he's a little bit cold, but he is a beautiful boy. He is right at 10 weeks of age. He's been in training since he was 6 weeks of age. And so we really know his personality. His personality is that he's very dependent. He's one of the first to come, the last to leave our side. He absolutely adores people. He's not a one-person dog. He loves almost everybody he meets. He wants to be held. He wants to be loved on. He loves to be kissed and loves to be caressed. And he is very, very affectionate. One of the most loving Cavaliers that we have. Just an absolutely beautiful, handsome young man. On the activity score, he's slightly outgoing. He is not a, many Cavaliers are just lay at your feet and don't do anything all day. He's a little bit more playful than that. He will play. He is not a lump on the log. He's not hyper, but he's definitely more outgoing than he is laid back and calm. He's very smart. This entire litter is extremely smart. They're all doing exceptional in their training. They are doing better than the average Cavalier at the same age, and so we're going to be excited to show you that in just a little bit. And he is an absolutely beautiful boy. Size-wise, he's an average-sized Cavalier. He's not going to be huge. He's not going to be small and tiny. He's an average size with a beautiful Blenheim coat. His puppy coat is still in, and he's going to be losing that puppy coat in just a little bit. And but he is going to be beautiful like his daddy. I encourage you to take the time to read through this entire page. We did do our best to answer almost every question about him, us, our training program on this page. For example, if you scroll down, you'll see pictures of Chewy and Sophie. If you click on those pictures, or if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you will see pictures of the parents, their personalities. You'll see a description of the personalities. You'll see their pedigrees, and most importantly, you'll see their health clearances. Both Chewy and Sophie were imported in from Europe. What makes us different than any other Cavalier breeder in America is two main things. Number one, the quality of our dogs. We import every one of our Cavaliers from Europe. They're healthier in Europe. We try to get them directly from the source. As you probably know, Cavaliers are one of the most unhealthy breeds out there. And so we spent the extra money and extra time. And with our connections already from breeding Goldens in Europe, we were able to find some really high-quality breeders of Cavaliers, ones that have been health testing for years and been showing and have generations of health-cleared Cavaliers, and we imported them in. It costs a lot more money than getting them from a breeder in America, but we have a better breeding stock. The second thing that makes us different is that every one of our puppies, without exception, goes through our Puppy Training Institute, which is a training program that starts actually sort of at birth. We do biosensor training in their first 13 days, but then we also move on and we do a lot of different other trainings. We do socialization training, which is training them getting used to different people, different environments. We get them used to sounds and scary things that will scare them, so we make sure they're used to vacuum cleaners and hair dryers and thunderstorms, so they're not afraid of those. The second thing we train them in is outside training, and that's where we spend a lot of time training them to walk on a leash, to ride in cars, to go swimming when the weather's warmer. It's a little bit cold right now. The third area that we work on is house training, and that's where we spend the majority of our time training them not to potty in the house. We also train them not to not to chew things, not to jump up on us, not to jump up on furniture. And we also work extensively on getting them crate trained. Cavaliers don't like the crate, but we think it's important to get them used to the crate. So we start out real young, and we train them to go into the crate. We also train them to sleep at night in a crate and to be quiet in a crate. The fourth area is obedience training, and that's, of course, we work on sit, stay, lay, come, and all those other areas that you will see in just a moment. By the time he graduates Puppy Academy, which will be in a couple weeks, right around the corner, he will have received 250 hours of training. Canine College is an extra 4 weeks. That's our second training level, and that's training for 350 hours, training till 16 weeks. Now, this 12 weeks ends November 2nd. The second training level is December 5th, 16 weeks of age. The third training level is Master's Program, training till 20 weeks of age, which is January 2nd. And the fourth training level is Doggy Doctorate, training till 6 months of age, which is right at Valentine's Day, February 15th. Now, we are flexible on all those dates. We do realize like Christmas falls between Canine College and Master's Program, and obviously Valentine's Day and Thanksgiving, all those things. We are flexible with all those dates. If you want to pick them up in between programs or do as a Christmas gift or Valentine's Day gift or anything like that. We simply prorate the difference, so you don't only pay for what you're getting. And but every one of these puppies goes through training. We highly encourage you to keep the puppy in training until 16 weeks, and the reason is really three things. Number one, their potty training is so much better. By 12 weeks of age, these puppies can typically hold the restroom about an hour during the day and about 4 to 6 hours at night in a crate. By the time they turn 16 weeks of age, that doubles. They go from 1 hour to 2 hours, from 4 hours to 6 to 8 hours in a crate. The second reason is their obedience commands. He is just in the last week or two just started understanding that he needs to do something to get something. And so we call it the light bulb moment. It's the moment when they realize they're being trained. And he's had it, and you're going to see it in just a little bit. But he just started having it. So you can get him out at 12 weeks of age, and he will have his commands, but they will not be mastered. You will have to continue to train him, probably at least 5 days a week for half an hour or so, or hire a professional trainer so that they will keep their commands. They can lose their commands if you get them at 12 weeks. At 16 weeks, though, with those extra 4 weeks, we start drilling those commands in their head and try to get them to not just know their commands, but start mastering their commands. So it's much harder for you to mess up. You still obviously want to continue training them when you get them at 16 weeks of age, but you don't have to be you don't have to do it 5 days a week. You want to probably do it 1 day a week or something like that. But their obedience commands are so much better at 16 weeks, probably 3 to 4 times better at 16 weeks than at 12 weeks. And the last reason is just practical. They have all of their shots at 16 weeks of age. If you get him at 12 weeks, you just have to quarantine him, keep him on your facility. Don't let anybody touch him that you don't know. Don't walk him around your block. You want to keep him protected. Now, before I go, I want to show off some of his training, and I'm distracting him right now. This is Nikki. It was one of our professional obedience trainers. Been training this litter since they were 6 weeks of age in obedience, and we're going to kind of switch, and we're going to show off some of his training. Now, the first thing I want you to notice is how focused he is. He looks at her. Now, one thing he loves, he's very dependent, and so you may hear him kind of cry a little bit, and that's just kind of his excitement. He gets excited. He kind of whines a little bit. It's not an annoying whine, but it's just he's a speaker, and it's really cute. Now, notice we train him to walk on the left side. We train him to walk. He doesn't walk in front or doesn't cut in front. That's actually really hard. One of the things, these small breeds are easy to do. They will cut in front of you, and it's easy to step on them. You can injure them. So it took us a long time, and we still be working on them. Walking on the left side, keeping up with Nikki, not pulling behind. We also train him to do something called an auto sit. Auto sit is when we stop walking, he automatically sits, and you can clearly see he knows that. She doesn't give him a hand signal. She doesn't tell him to sit. He just automatically sits when we stop walking. The reason we do that is because the reason why dogs pull is because they lose focus and lose respect. This builds focus and the respect for you. And so he's really watching. Now, this is the sit command. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. The stay command, she will say stay. This is the hardest one. Now, at this age, if they can hold it for 5 seconds from a distance of 5 feet, that's about 4 feet, that's really good. Now, at 12 weeks, it's 10 seconds from a distance of 10 feet. Now, let's do a down stay. Okay, I think that'd be, there's down. Stay is a stop sign. And this is very difficult for him. He has to stay, he did a sit stay, but we want him to stay in the down stay. That's about 5 feet. If he can hold this for 5 seconds, he's doing above average. Oh, he was so close. He did 4 seconds. Okay, 3. And you have to understand, a puppy at this age is more like a 3-year-old mentally. And so a second is like a million years to these puppies. And we do no correction outside of a pop on a leash. Everything we do is treat training. We don't use any type of negative correction outside of like that. What she did right there, the little pop on a leash, that communicates that they done something bad. But as you can see, his tail's wagging, so it doesn't hurt him. Just do a sit stay. Okay, great. Now there's the come command. He obviously has no problem with the come command. Now we're going to show you the place command. We'll say the word place, and he runs up to his Kuranda cot, and he has to stay on there. The reason we do his place is a couple reasons. One, stay and come are the most difficult commands. It's actually easier from an elevated platform to stay than it is on the ground. Now he knows he has to stay on there. He can't jump off of there. And it's very hard for a dependent puppy. They want to be with you. Plus, he's food motivated. You see, he's holding a stay a lot better on the elevated platform. The other reason we do this is we really encourage you to buy this Kuranda cot. We'll give you the link for it when you buy the puppy. And it allows the transition period to be smoother. You buy this, and it's something that they're used to. We actually have one in their rooms. They're indestructible. They're weatherproof. And they're just great. They're really comfortable for the dogs. And you buy this, and it will just allow that transition period to be smoother because it's something they're used to. The closer your home is from ours, the easier the transition. And the quicker they keep their commands. He is so cute. He's going to have a really cute name like Scooter or something like that. Something cute because he is so adorable. And there's the come command. The last thing we're going to show you, we're going to say the word kennel, and he has to go in a kennel. See, he knows that very well. Now, she will shut the kennel, probably have to lock it, but he has to stay in the kennel. And we're working on this. He's a dependent puppy, so this is kind of hard for him. He hates being by himself, so we have to train him to stay in the kennel, not to jump up. He's not allowed to jump up. Until he gets down, he doesn't get recognized. Now, he also has to stay in the kennel until he's released. Now, again, this is why we do recommend the 16-week program over the 12-week, because they're just more mature. He knows his commands. Everything he knows. It's just a matter of patience and being able to hang on. And that comes with age. But he is doing exceptional in his training. If you are interested in Mr. Blue, please take the time to read through this entire page. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see pictures that we just took of him and of his litter, or of his parents and everything. And then if you could just read, right above those pictures are the prices for each training level. And if you're interested in him, read through this entire page. And right below this video says, click here to fill out puppy application. Fill out the puppy application, and we will respond to you within 12 to 24 hours. Thank you so much for taking time to visit Mr. Blue's page. Thank you, and God bless.